welcome to the lobby right here on GameSpot.com every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. My name is Danny O'Dwyer, and on this week's show, we've got a bunch of video games. Vince Zampella from Respawn Entertainment's in the house to tell us all about Titanfall. We've got South Park and Stick of Truth. We're also giving away a bunch of copies of that video game on the platform of your choice. So make sure you keep tuned in to find out how to win one of those bad boys. Dark Souls 2 playable on the show today. Kevin Van Ort's coming on. And we've also got John Rambo. That's right, folks, the video game you've all been waiting to play. Happy Pancake Tuesday, Peter Brown.
Happy Pancake Tuesday, Danny O'Dwyer.
Let's eat pancakes.
Shall we?
Is it Trove Tuesday? Is that what people say?
No, here it's the International House of Pancakes Pancake Day.
IHOP Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not about Jesus here.
I've still never been to IHOP.
Oh, what?
I've never. I went to Taco Bell for the first time this weekend.
Don't they revoke your visa if you've not been to IHOP
I
in
know.
like 30 days or something like that?
So stop telling people. You terrible person. Oh my God. We got a bunch of stuff on today's show, all crammed in, so I feel like we should just get down to it and play some Rambo, the video game. This is a game that came out only a week ago.
Yeah.
And you've not played it, so
I've not.
I'm gonna hop in because I've played a little bit of it.
I've been saving it, actually.
You need to savor Rambo. This is two-player as well. So this is a first-person shooter that's come out on yes, it is. You're going to play as the blue man.
Cool.
That's come out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC over Steam, and it chronicles the life of John J. Rambo.
Yeah. What does the J stand for again?
John.
Oh yeah.
John Rambo
Yeah.
is his name. I think it's James actually, which is it's First Blood Part 2 and 3 all turned into a video game.
So I've got my own reticle. That's
Yeah.
Because it's an Unreal shooter, isn't it?
Yeah, and because obviously we've got this one gun, but there's two of us shooting. Because that's what happened in Vietnam. I don't know. You weren't there, man. You don't know. You can also. So I'm taking cover here. See that?
I'm watching you.
Yeah. So you can't decide if we're taking cover or not. is the issue. I'm gonna play with you for a little bit here, and then we're gonna swap over and let you play with yourself, as it were.
I will play with myself.
This is this is a pretty. I don't know. This kind of came out of nowhere. We gave it a 6 out of 10 on GameSpot.com. Have you played any Rambo games in the past? I feel like it's like Terminator and RoboCop, and there's been about 20 releases of both games, but no one's ever played any of them.
I played the original one on the NES, which is not good at all.
Okay.
It's a very bad, confusing game.
So you're saying this is in keeping with the long tradition
This might
of
be
good
better.
Rambo video
This
games?
might be better, but that's not saying a whole lot.
I've just realized it's got an active reload thing. See that?
Jeez, yeah.
It's,
Okay.
Where's the?
How do you
is there
reload?
dude?
What's the?
X. What do you mean? How do you reload? Have you only fired one clip since we started doing
No,
this?
I got it. If you hold down R, the R button, there you go. I'll do it too.
What's that do? That shoots.
That reloads.
Oh, okay.
Not trigger, the button.
God damn it. I feel like Steam has become my go-to place for playing local multiplayer video games. God, they can't.
Absolutely.
It's the worst place to crouch. With like Nidhogg and
Samurai Gun.
Yeah. And in Rambo here, we clearly have another game you can add into that mix.
It's so weird though.
What's your favorite on-rails shooter?
It's a good question.
Kill to heal, Peter!
House of Dead is great. Did you play any of those games?
House of Dead?
Yeah.
Or House of the Living?
House of the Dead, I guess.
Typing of the Dead I played a lot of.
Yeah.
That was pretty rad. No, I never. Was there an arcade version of Typing of the Dead?
Yeah. In Japan at least.
Of course in Japan. You think Ireland got the Typing of the Dead arcade game? I think that's since come out on goodoldgames.com.
Typing of the Dead?
Yes,
it's on Steam.
Oh, it is on Steam?
Yeah, actually, well, it's the sequel, Typing of the Dead Overkill, which takes House of the Dead Overkill and turns it into Typing of the Dead, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Typing of the Dead was essentially a on-rails shooter, but instead of shooting the screen, you would type out words that would pop up.
Oh, there were some really strange words in there, too.
Oh, for bosses, they'd have stuff like, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, and you'd have to like type in. Like, I remember thinking at the time, it was around when Mavis Beacon Typing Tutor was out. Do you remember all this Typing Tutor project?
I mean, I remember that in school, but not like a product.
They had and I remember this came out, Typing in Dead came out around the same time, and they actually had like commercials saying, Mavis Beacon, we're gonna come eat you or something. Oh, Zombies gonna murder your face.
Unless you buy Mavis Beacon.
Yeah, well, I just like the idea of this really small, no, unless you buy Typing in the Dead. Because I like the idea of this really small sub-genre of video games that no one ever cared about. Yeah. All right, here's genre. We have to look at the Rambo skin. This is, sliced alone. Adrian!
It's so shiny.
I love that scene in Rambo where he wins the boxing fight.
Yeah, and he yells for his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he beats up all the meat. Oh, we're dead! Peter Brown, I'm going to let you play this single player.
Oh, thank you.
While I take questions from the chat. If you have any questions at all for Peter about Rambo the video game, please send them in either via the Twitch chat or in the comments. I've actually got some questions about John Rambo that I want to ask you myself while you play this video game.
Jeez, yeah. I'll see if I can answer them truthfully.
Before that, actually, I want to remind the folks at home that we are giving away copies of South Park and The Stick of Truth on the platform of your choice. Can I back out of this?
Are you back in? Hold on, I got this.
Back in. All right, you got that one. If you want to win one of those, follow us at GameSpot on Twitter. Use the hashtag GSTheLobby, and make sure you are following us so we can contact you and find out what version of the game you want to get as well. Yeah, we don't have
Boo.
We don't have extra chapters of Rambo the video game, Peter. You're just gonna go play regular ass version. Go for it.
But we haven't beaten any of the missions. That's why.
No, of course not. Unassigned
So
controller.
yeah, you gotta get rid of that controller.
Oh, you got rid of that one. That's the main one.
All right.
There you go. Boom.
All right.
Perfect. When did Rambo come out, Peter? Question 1.
1984.
No, it came out in 2014. This video game came out in 2014, Peter.
All right, I didn't
Sorry
get that
about
one. Did not get that one right.
When did Rambo First Blood, the movie come out, Peter?
2014.
Nope, that's 1982.
Oh shit.
You were close though.
Okay.
What is Rambo's first name?
Jeremiah? Oh, it's Jonathan.
It's John. You're right.
Swedish, right?
It is John. Should we ask John Travolta what Rambo's first name is? I've spent
I'm sure it's Jorn.
I've spent all this morning John Travolta-izing
For work.
people's names, obviously for work.
Yeah. What else would it
Well,
be
we
for?
prepared the lobby. All we had to do was wait for Vince Zampella to turn up, and
Has
then
he
he
turned up
did.
yet?
He did. He's back there.
Oh yeah, I
I
met
think
him.
so. It's either that or a creeper.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of both.
All right, if someone in the chat can Travolta-fies his name, that'd be pretty good. Jennifer Beal is Jennifer Borse.
Borse?
I love John Travolta so much. I got another question for you. Where
Yes.
was the Rambo First Blood set? The movie and or the first level of the video game?
Wisconsin.
Well, not the first level.
Oh, I mean Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam, very good. Hope, Washington. It was in Hope, Washington. And do you remember what was it that killed John
God.
Rambo's his soldier friends? I don't know what.
Kindness?
No. Try
No?
again.
Some sort of bullet.
It was Agent Orange.
Oh man.
Agent Orange.
Can you
All
tell
right.
that I haven't watched this movie in years?
I want you to give a rating of that. And we've already reviewed Rambo the video game. I want you to give a rating out of 10 for Rambo the video game right now on the show.
Right now?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Out of 10.
jeez. 5?
Unofficial GameSpot review.
How do I duck?
Peter
How do I get
Brown.
out? How do I hide behind
Press
cover?
down.
Press down.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Amazing.
All right.
Done. All right, that's it. That's about as much Rambo the video game I can take right now, Peter Brown.
It is a
We've
5.
got to get to South Park and talk to Vince Zampella about Titanfall and whatnot.
Let's do it.
So put that controller down.
Nope.
I want to remind the folks at home, hashtag GSTheLobby. Follow us at GameSpot to win one of those bad boys on whatever platform you want. Kevin Van Ord's about to come on and play some Dark Souls 2 with us, which is going to be super fun. But first of all, there was a trailer for the South Park and the Stick of Truth that was never actually put out there. It was leaked by like Ubisoft Brazil or something, where Matt Stone and Trey Parker called us out about our reviewing policy or our scores.
Praying that we don't give the game a 4.
Yeah, saying something to that effect. So we snagged a copy of it, and I just want to check that out right now. We'll be back real soon with Dark Souls 2.
Yeah!
That was a million to one shot.
I sure hope the gold key is in there, or else the quest for the silver key has been all for nothing. I sure hope the gold key is in there, or else the quest for the silver key has been all for nothing.
This is a video game. We can't do everything. So we're doing the story and we're working on the characters and we're trying to make it the South Park thing, but it's really such a bigger thing. Video games, definitely a humbling experience. They're a bear to get your head around how to put one together.
Yeah, if you can make me a douchebag, but he sure can fight. Shut up, Scott. Nobody cares what you think.
We're hoping that we make a game that's worthy of the show, and I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off, but that's what we're really trying to do.
I hope we don't get a fucking 4 on GameSpot. That's what I hope. That'll piss me off.
Don't show that to GameSpot.
How badly did they rape you? I shall make haste to Koopa Keep. Shut up, Mom. Not now. Sunshine! How am I supposed to do all this? Why? It's a trick!
Why? 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 Kevin Van Ord.
Hi.
What score did we give South Park and the Stick of Truth?
A not 4.
Didn't give a 4. Kidding me?
Hey, that's my best angle. You can see the big tooth gap.
It's perfect.
Right there when I see that.
Yeah, and if you didn't see it before, we see it right now.
Yeah.
What did we give South Park and the Stick of Truth?
A 7.
A 7. You reviewed the video game, I believe.
Yes. Whoa, what is happening here?
But that's not the game we're going to play right now. I tell you what, folks.
No, don't show what's on the TV yet, because this is not the part I'm allowed to show.
Oh, really? All right. Don't show it.
Yeah, don't show anything yet. I had it all set up what I wanted to do.
I just realized you're wearing a Dark Souls shirt.
I am wearing a Dark Souls shirt. So if I could remember the name of the site I got this from, but there's a site with like so many like just fan-made art T-shirt things.
Redbubble.
Redbubble, yeah. So that's where I got this. I got a Journey shirt. I got an Okami shirt.
Yeah.
I was very happy. Yeah.
Was it reasonable prices?
Yeah, it was fine.
Was it delivered on time?
Yeah, absolutely. All of it.
Great.
All of it was good.
You heard it here first.
They're paying us for this, right?
No. No,
okay.
I paid them actually. I gave them money
damn
to
it.
send me a shirt.
That's the worst.
That's how commerce works in this country.
All right, I want to talk to you about Dark Souls.
Okay.
So this is Dark Souls 2. It's coming out pretty soon. The last game
was the best game of the generation. Yes, you're right in that, Danny.
You're a massive fan.
I am a massive fan.
What I
of
find
Dark
interesting
Souls.
about it, that game came out like back in, I feel like the late 2011 or was it 2012?
It was 2000.
It came out on consoles first.
11.
And then was PC.
And then PC.
Like the following summer or something.
Yeah.
So I feel like that game has been building in popularity since then, rather than when it came out it was this massive event.
Yeah, it has legs. It has, you know, word of mouth is very important to Dark Souls.
Yeah, yeah.
And well, of course, Demon Souls. I mean, it started with Demon
Yeah, yeah,
Souls,
yeah.
right? And then Dark Souls came as the not sequel to Demon Souls.
So what do you think it is about the game that like has actually like it made people talk about it in this like?
Well, a lot of that I think has to do with its atmosphere. It's very dark. A lot of it has to do with the fact
dark?
that
What?
Are there
yeah,
souls?
imagine there are souls as well. But also, it's about not holding your hand. It's not. People think about Dark Souls as the challenge and the difficulty.
Yeah.
But that's not really what it's about. It's about giving the player all of the tools that he or she needs to sort of discover. You discover on your own. It's not just about, hey, this is hard. It's about, hey, the game trusts me to figure it out. It doesn't like drop, 1,000 years of lore on me at one time, Skyrim style, and it lets me figure out what to do and how to do it and that kind of thing. So
talk to us about what's going on here. Is this started a game?
this is what they call an opening cutscene.
Okay.
But I'm gonna skip past it.
Feel free.
But what's really interesting about that cutscene is that there's like full on, facial animation talking. Like I'm not used to that in Dark Souls with with people close up faces, like with actually speaking and lips and things. So
People having masks and text coming up. Yeah. That was kind of one of the charming things about Dark Souls was that it did feel super like Japanese or like super like the combat style and like the sort of rough edges I kind of found charming.
Somewhat, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
looked good on PC and stuff,
it
but like
has-
it was still rough around the edges.
it has that Japanese element in the sense of the animation priority kind of combat that we associate with things like Monster Hunter and so on. But it's a lot less. The animations aren't nearly so long that you're like, oh my god, I have to sit here for 10 minutes waiting for this animation to finish before I can make my next attack. So this is the very beginning. I'm only allowed to show you things that happen in the first hour.
Okay.
So I'm not going to describe what any of this means. I'm not going to
Okay.
No
tell you
context.
no context whatsoever. This is how the game begins. You wake up in this place called Things
Betwixt. Okay. Does that mean you can't talk for the next 20 minutes? Because that's going to be super rad. Can we ask you questions?
You can
What's
ask
up
me
with those
questions.
bones?
I'm not telling you anything about the bones.
So I've started playing.
This TV is so dark. There we
I like
go.
it. It's Dark Souls. It's in the name. I started playing Dark Souls on PC about a month ago, and I found at the start of the game, I liked how they didn't like tell you what was happening. Once you did that first tutorial level, you were sort of thrown into this almost like a hub world with like loads of different directions to go in. Is that similarly happening
Similarly.
here?
Now notice that when I started, unlike Demon Souls and Dark Souls, I didn't pick a class at the very beginning.
Oh, you
I
didn't?
didn't choose things.
Yeah.
Right now, I am just a blank slate.
Okay.
And so now, here's another not Dark Souls type thing, which is now we have a cutscene that runs after we've started the game.
Yeah.
Another atypical thing. Usually those are reserved for boss intros, and that's it. But now,
Are you going to get to pick your character at this stage?
you'll see.
Oh my lord.
3 wise old women. I assume they're wise. They're old.
That doesn't necessarily mean they're wise.
And they're wearing red. And they have candles and stuff, and they speak cryptically.
And you are an undead.
You are an undead.
Okay.
I'm allowed to say that because it says so right there. So it seems pretty safe.
Do they pratter along for a while? Because maybe we should just skip it if they do.
I will skip it. They pratter along.
I don't
a
know.
little bit.
I'm just saying,
'Cause I
most of
wanna
the old
show you
ladies in my
a little
life,
bit
they
about
just
the beginning.
never shut up.
So this is where it's like, hey, recall your name. So let's just call me something.
Danky Kang.
We'll just call me Kev and get
Kev.
it over
All right.
with.
Kev.
And yes, I'm absolutely sure of my name.
Well, you might have just spelt it wrong, which would have sucked. If you have any questions, by the way, for Mr. Van Ord, by all means, put them in the Twitch chat or in the GameSpot comments page, and we will pick them out.
I will skip that as well, but this is where I will be choosing my class and my gift. I reassure you that my own body looks exactly like
oh yeah,
that.
you're an Adonis.
So my main character, I'm playing a knight.
Okay.
I think maybe that we'll do something different. We'll do swordsman.
You are quite the swordsman, Kevin.
Yes. For gift, you get to choose. Like, this is very typical Dark Souls. Petrified something. Who knows what that does?
That's what I love about this game, is like how they would just throw out complete, like, you wouldn't have a clue what the hell it was.
The bonfire aesthetic is used to raise the strength of nearby foes. A seed of a tree of giants, you can't eat it. Who knows what that does? You don't know necessarily. I'm going to go ahead and take the
life ring.
That's
like
an old Demon Souls, Dark Souls favorite.
Okay.
And then there are other ways, of course, of customizing as well. But I'm just going to go with that because it's such a good approximation of my real life body.
Why change it? I got a question here from Chaotic Bits. Is Dark Souls 2 essentially based off of Dark Souls when I need to complete Dark Souls in order to fully enjoy Dark Souls 2?
No. I mean, you should play Dark Souls. You should play Demon Souls because they're awesome. But it's not like you need those to understand. And of course, now we come to our very first bonfire. This is like sort of the tutorial area. You will see notes here, but notice that I can indeed just kill the tutorial if I prefer.
Wait, so are the notes obviously from the previous games were sort of like, some of them were just parts of the game as standard tutorial stuff. Some of them were messages left by other players.
Yep.
Is that still?
Well, you'll still see messages. In this case, that's a built-in tutorial. It's an actual, like, the stone has actually tutorial hints on it. And now you'll see this later. Right now, I can't travel anywhere, as you see. It's the only place I've unlocked. But you can actually now travel at will between bonfires that you unlock. So, pardon me while I do that, so I can pick up this item.
Is there any
soul and a torch? Now that torch is very, very important. Although I can't say why.
Okay.
Or how.
Great.
But I can light the torch, and when doing so, I now must have it in my left hand because putting it away will unlight the torch.
Does this like give you an extra life or something? Is that what's happening?
Who knows? But one of your goals is to light the unlit torches as you go. Now, of course, you see a foggy door in a Dark Souls game. And
it's good times are behind it.
Good times are
behind it. Strip club.
There are lots of them here, so I will go through one of these to give you an idea. For now, I'm just going to get rid of the torch. Now, as you see, this class is two weapons.
Enter the mist.
I'm going to enter the mist. The good news is there's nothing that nasty behind it, just tutorial.
I want nasty. I want you to kill something.
How to attack.
Is there any fundamental changes to the way the combat works
and you
between these two games?
I don't know if you just saw. Here we go. This is another player in another world, another version of this world.
Get out of my game.
Oops. Hello.
Yeah. Is there any fundamental differences between the combat?
Is
this a new engine? Does it feel different?
Well, supposedly it's a new engine, but there's nothing that feels different about it. This TV is so dark.
What about the technical performance of the game? Do you find that it seems to me that the frame rate's a little bit better.
The frame rate does seem to be, but I haven't hit anything yet. I think this is okay to say that I haven't hit anything yet as as irritating as Blighttown and Dark Souls was. That was one of the worst technical things in modern video games. Is just the frame rate in Blighttown and Dark Souls. It's hard for you to tell at home, but this TV is so dark I'm afraid of moving because you can
Just fall off the edge.
So I'm going to simply,
don't run.
I'm going
don't
to
run.
sprint.
I am going to go into, if I can, the next area because there's a moment that's super, super memorable here, and I want to be able. I want everybody to sort of experience this moment with me. Because you're used to Dark Souls being this. It's dark caverns. It's awful places. It's I don't know what's going to happen when I turn the corner because there are gross things about. And instead, you come to this moment as you emerge from the tutorial area and you see this.
Okay, that's pretty rad.
When I first had that experience, my heart just sort of bloomed right there because I'm not used to hope in Dark Souls.
Light,
and suddenly,
as it were.
Suddenly in Dark Souls 2, I emerge and there's this light. And now I'm going to try to. This is the hub area.
Okay.
You'll spend a lot of time here. It's called Majula. And it's sort of like in Demon Souls how you would go back to the Nexus.
Yeah.
This is essentially how Dark Souls 2 works. Is you're going to come back to Majula. But the first thing we're going to do is attune to this bonfire.
Nice work.
And I'll go ahead and rest again, just because I can. Now, a few notes about health. You'll see I have a life gem down there. That's one of the health items, and that's actually a drop. Enemies will drop those things, but you also, hang on here. You also still have, oh, it's not there yet. You do also have flasks, Estus flasks, like before, but you only get one to start with.
So it seems like there's a lot of familiarities with Dark Souls 1.
Some, yes, many.
In terms of the difficulty, I got a question here from Alex Clemens 1 on Twitter. A lot of folks wondering if perhaps From Software are going to maybe play this towards, a bit more popular. Do you think this feels as difficult as the last game does?
I'm not in a position where I really can talk about that yet because of the restrictions we were given to be able to show the game.
Yeah.
But gosh, how can I drop any cryptic hints? Probably
don't worry
not.
about it.
You can say we'll know soon. When is a review?
We'll know
going live?
soon. You'll know next week at Tuesday morning 9 a.m. So this young lady is talking about Drangleic, and that's the name of the world that Dark Souls 2 takes place in. It's not the same world as Dark Souls.
Is there? Have you? Again, it probably is. Have you seen any connections between those two worlds at all?
Well, yes, there are vague narrative connections, and in terms of structure, they are connected. I don't know all of the official story behind how all of these worlds connect, but
I never felt
they do exist in the same mental place, if nothing else.
I never felt when I was playing Dark Souls that there were well, I guess maybe it was a different situation, but there was much Demon Souls references that I was missing out on.
No.
Is that kind of similar here?
You can these safely stand on their own. And this is the interesting part here, because now the game has put you into this place. You have these different spots that you can go, but you don't necessarily know.
Contraption does not move.
The contraption does not move.
How many hours did you put into Dark Souls?
Oh, over 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical, though, yeah?
Yeah. In Dark Souls 2, I am now level 56.
Okay.
With my main character, obviously not with this character.
What's the cap at?
I don't know. Probably 1,000 like before.
Oh,
I think it was 1,000 before. I've never been at level 1,000.
We're getting some real deep questions here on GameSpot's chat. Atheist Preacher wants to ask, do spells use the stack if you have 2 instances of the same spell?
I do not know the answer to that question.
Okay. Stacking spells.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not playing as a spellcaster.
All right.
Although I do have my main character. I do have some sorcery. So, but mainly I'm just playing as a knight with the sword and the shield.
Was there any like fundamental things that you did not like about the previous game that you wish they addressed in this one?
There are those occasions where clipping can get a little strange. Oh, here's
Wow,
an
that's
interesting
gorgeous.
moment when you come out to this spot.
Turn to the right. I want to see that vista.
Want to see this?
Show me that vista.
Yeah.
It's a pretty looking game.
great.
We're playing this on the
This
PlayStation
is on PS3.
3,
This is on a debug PlayStation 3, meaning it's a developer
Yes.
PlayStation 3, but the game will be exactly like this. The reason, you know, I'm hooked up online, I will see. This should be
here we go.
scary.
Oh, hey. All right, taking bets. Peter Brown, is Kevin going to win this battle?
I have faith in my man. I'm going to say yeah.
All right. I'm going to go no.
Are we betting? Is there actual bet involved here?
No, there's no money involved.
Oh, okay.
I have no money. I spent it all on Taco Bell on the weekend, I told you.
Yeah, you did.
So explain to the folks, so maybe who haven't like played one of these games before, how the combat works and what you're doing here to try and
So the
take this guy
combat
down.
is real time, and some of the tricks with the combat is to understand, you know, how close you can get to an enemy, how you know, how close, you know, how long it takes to make the attack, and to really understand and pay attention to what it is that your enemy is doing, so that you know how to take advantage. I mean, it sounds like normal video game combat,
Yeah.
right? But in this case, as you see, one attack can make a huge difference. And with this class, I'm not holding a shield right now. I just have my two opening, you know, dual weapons. Another part of it is the endurance aspect, the stamina aspect. So you see the stamina bar below the health bar at the top left. And every time I do something, whether it be take a block with the shield, whether I dodge like that, whether I swing my weapon, that uses up stamina. And stamina management is very, very important, because otherwise you can get yourself in really bad situations where, you can't block, where you can't dodge, or even attack.
It seems to be so much more relevant in these games than a lot of other games that have stamina meters.
Yes.
Where like I often feel in perhaps a lot of RPGs, they're there just to stop you from spamming attacks, whereas in these games it seems to be like a fundamental, almost as important as your health bar.
See, what's interesting about these guys is when you have a shield, the easiest thing to do is just stay really close to them and then just block the attack, because their attacks are highly blockable.
Oof.
But
Can you still use the sort of janky physics to knock guys off of
yes,
cliffs
that
and
can
stuff?
happen, and it does.
That was my only way of defeating those skeletons in the start of that game. Was I would just have to go towards a cliff and just try and get them to hit me and then jump slightly out of the way.
Is this the right uphill path you're talking about, or did you go down to the graveyard? And
The graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer.
Bad decision.
Absolute killer.
So I'm not used to dealing with these guys with the dodge. But yeah, that stuff is super, super important. And I don't think, did she give me, I think she gave me an Estus flask, but did I not fill it?
Use it if you want. Do what you
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I do have it now. So I'm going to equip the Estus flask. So now I have that available to me. So, and of course you can pick up
what's going on there?
You just don't want to know answers
right.
to this question.
The world of Dark Souls 2 is a disgusting, horrible, physically...
Okay, so now this
It's the
guy's
same
not
place.
so bad either. It's just more of the same. But another thing that's important in Dark Souls is you have to understand your surroundings, because you can and will fall. And so you come up to a place where, for example, I know I'm going to be dodging because I'm not using a shield.
Well, Kevin, I want
So
you
do
to...
I want to be dodging in this particular area?
Yes.
The answer is no.
This is
Yes.
our last death of the...
Oh, you want me to
yeah,
die
so
on
just do it.
purpose?
Yeah.
No, I just want you to try and fight the dude up there with his like...
Oh, okay.
I get what you're saying. If you were playing this game in a week's time, you should not do what Kevin is about to do here,
Yeah.
which is fight this.
We'll see if I can manage it.
You get him to fall off? Try that one out.
Yeah, do that.
I believe
Okay.
in you, Kevin. I know you don't
I've
believe
never
in
tried
yourself.
that particular trick with these dudes. There is a trick in one area where I can routinely get some dudes to fall off.
All right, you know what? Just throw yourself off the edge.
Oh, you want me to die on
Yeah,
purpose?
go for it. Yeah, why not?
All right.
You're too good at this video game, Kevin Van Ord. I want to see you talk. I want to
All
see
right,
the
fine.
words.
Let me at least kill him. I'm going
Go
to
on,
show
go
you
on.
one more thing, and then I will die. All right? Are you happy
Wait,
with
did you
that?
kill him?
I killed him. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So let's head down here,
All right,
and you will see this is taking one of those dudes on at once is all fine and dandy.
no.
But then what happens when you have
Oh, jeez.
3 of them? And you soon find out, and that's what it comes down to, is manipulation. It comes down to kiting enemies into particular areas where you're more comfortable fighting them. Sometimes that can feel a little bit like a cheat, like you're exploiting the game. But that's how you survive. Is
Kiting
you
for comfort.
these enemies. Okay,
it's as
so you
hard
want me
as
to
it
just
was.
jump
Do it.
off?
Yeah,
Into, okay.
it's not Dark Souls without actually killing yourself.
Hang on,
or without dying.
I'm being Kevin. I'm going to activate, and I'll show you another cool thing. But you see a cool thing happen. Like you see the.
Yes.
See?
That was pretty cool.
Okay. Okay. Now
Now do
here
it.
we go,
Murder
here we go.
yourself.
I'm gonna do it with the jump, which has
Do
a
it.
slightly new.
Own it.
Woo!
Own it.
Life.
Great.
And there you go.
And just like video games, the main
You've
protagonist
died.
can kill people, but he can't swim.
Thanks, Obama.
Unlucky. Thanks very much. Kevin, the review for that game is on GameSpot.com next week?
Yeah, Tuesday morning at 9 a.m.
Awesome. Thanks very much for coming on and
my
showing the
pleasure.
game off. I want to remind folks at home that we are giving away copies of South Park and the Stick of Truth on the platform of your choice. If you want a chance to win one of those bad boys, please follow us on Twitter at GameSpot and tweet us with the hashtag GSTheLobby. Make sure you're following us so we can then ask you what platform you want and you can win. Right, a creeper is about to come on the set, I believe, so we're going to check out a trailer for Titanfall, which is coming out next week on a hella bunch of platforms. This trailer just dropped today, so check it out. We'll be back real soon.
It was only a matter of time.
All of our fight, all of our sacrifice has bought us this one day.
He's ex-IMC. I don't trust him, and neither should you.
War changes a man. It's a hard life keeping the peace on the frontier. Everyone has their limits.
Control transferring to pilot.
Titanfall from Respawn Entertainment there, coming out on Xbox One, PC next week, and then on Xbox 360 2 weeks later. I am very, very happy to be sitting here with the creator of that video game, the Creeper from Minecraft, which I'm very happy to say we didn't stick on the green screen. It's a pleasure to have you today here, sir. Should we do the drum roll? Unveil who it is.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh.
It's Vince Zampella from
what do you know?
Respawn Entertainment, everyone.
I thought I got to keep it on the whole time.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
All right.
Is your mic still in the right place? Yeah, sure, it's perfect. I like it. Sir, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Last time I saw you...
A little warm in there.
Yeah, it's only going to get warmer, don't worry about it.
Yeah, they made me sit in there for hours.
The last time I saw you, it was a week before the beta started. What's it like being on the opposite side of that? Because before, very few people had seen the game, whereas now about 2 million people have played it.
That's true. The response to the beta was great. You know, we found a few problems early on that we fixed, so we're in better shape for launch. That's always good. A lot of people got to play it. A lot of positive response coming out of it, so we're pretty excited, pretty happy.
Were you anticipating that type of response, or were you optimistic, cautiously optimistic about it, or?
You always hope for that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we wanted that type of response, get that many people through. You know, we were hoping we didn't, crash everything. We ended up filling the servers. We had limited capacity for beta, but we wanted to fill them at the end there and just to see what would happen, how things were handled at max capacity, and it went well.
It's like 2 million people in total then in the end?
It was,
Played the
it was
beta, or-
about 2 million people that got through, not simultaneously, but through the whole course of the beta.
And did you expect to have it that big? Because at the start it seemed to be like this gold rush of can I get Titanfall codes, and then at a certain point it was like when the ruble debased, they just became worthless because it was an open beta then. Was that always the plan, or?
Well, we wanted to always get as many people through as possible.
Yeah.
It's just about capacity and kind of pushing people through in a manner that we can test things. So the goal was to see how many people, we didn't know with Friday being Valentine's Day, Monday being a holiday, we didn't know what our fall off was.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if everybody stayed and played the entire time, without sleeping, we'd have been able to get less people through. So fortunately people passed out at some point and we were able to get other people in to replace them and cycle in as many as possible.
Did you see people drop off on Valentine's Day to spend time with their loved ones, or are video game people just horrible
The worst.
partners?
I think that's when the servers were down for about 7 hours on Friday. And
Yes.
I don't think it was coincidence. I think it was somebody's spouse that paid somebody off to, to have that error happen. So I'm still going with that one.
Awesome. What has the beta taught you guys about the capacity for these servers going into the full launch?
A lot about load balancing, and there's certain, like when you're in a lobby server, really what your ping is doesn't matter. So we can kind of shuffle them around based on there's different peak times for different places.
Yeah.
So we now say, okay, we can put a lobby server on somewhere where it's a little higher ping, but it doesn't matter. And then when you do the game server, those are reserved on areas of peak capacity.
And this was all running on the cloud as well, the Xbox cloud that gets thrown around so much?
That's right.
Yeah. So how does that differ from, say, a typical server that's used to run back-end games, the back end of games?
The biggest difference is that we don't have to configure it or pay for it, which is, when we're a small team, we're a startup team making a game, that's gold to us. We have the resources of Microsoft on that back end for us. So that it's been absolutely critical to getting the game done.
Cool. I've got a bunch of questions coming in here. If you have any questions at home, by all means, put them in the chat or in the comments. I got a question of my own. You can read them there if you want straight away. I'm going to skip all the horrible ones. I have a question of my own. You guys obviously showed up the beta pretty open about what was in terms of content. Are you guys planning to reveal any more stuff over the next week? Because we're only like 7 days from launch at this stage. In terms of content.
I think the internet's handled that for us.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Reddit, I guess. There was a post a couple of weeks ago, and then over the weekend there was kind of some leaks about, supposed leaks about the turrets, the various maps. There might be 15 is the one that's been thrown around. Is any of that stuff, how true? Do you guys look at that stuff and go, oh, we've been found out, or is any of that information incorrect?
I haven't read it all, so I can't say if some of it's incorrect or not, but I mean, at some point you just kind of have to throw up your arms and say, all right, you got us, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Fair enough. First question here from Countdown Ended. What's your favorite weapon to use in Titanfall, and what Titan class do you use yourself a lot?
I generally use the shotgun, just because it's fun. And I'll go with an Atlas most of the time. It's kind of a good balance, so.
There was a burn card in the beta that allowed you to use the Strider.
That's right.
That would come down like straight away. Did you guys know when you were putting that stuff in that, because originally it was only the Atlas was the only Titan you could actually use in the game?
Yeah.
Were you guys aware of that stuff?
Yeah.
Trying to mess with people, give them a little taste?
Yeah, there were ogre cards in there as well, and we decided to let it go. They're pretty rare, so not that many people got to see them, but when you did, it's a cool bonus.
One big question that's been coming up a lot, Teller76567, it's a great username, asks, why did you step away from making a single player campaign to focus on this campaign multiplayer concept?
It's about looking at where people spend most of their time. Generally people will burn through a single player campaign as fast as they can. You spend 5-6 hours, and 80% of the work goes into that, and then you go and spend 100 hours in this thing that gets, it's bare bones, it's the minimum you can get away with. For us, it was about pushing the boundaries of what multiplayer is. So let's take all that great single-player stuff, build up the world. That world that you're going to spend 100 hours in should be the most full-featured.
So that single-player campaign, how many levels does that exist over? Do you play it from both sides? How does that work?
You do play it from both sides. It's a short experience. It's meant to be a couple hours on each side. And then, from there, you don't have to touch it again. You can replay it. You don't have to. You can you go straight into regular multiplayer.
Is it almost like a sort of a tutorial for the full game? Does it kind of work that way? Do you get exposed to a lot of the mechanics that way, or is it the same leveling system as a multiplayer?
It's the same leveling system as multiplayer. It's we have a tutorial section. So it's not meant to be training. It's meant to be introduction to the lore, the world, the story, to get you engrossed in what we're trying to bring to you.
So you're going to launch with a bunch of maps. There's a lot of, it's a type of game where it evolves as you play and as you level up and as you sort of learn how to play the game. But like looking months ahead, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, do you guys have any plans for like season packs, DLC, that sort of stuff? This is an EA game as well. It's being published by those guys. That seems to come hand in hand with some of the stuff that they are involved in. So are you looking to do some of that? Are you being pressurized to do it, or how does that work?
We're not being pressured to do any of that at all. We are going to do, we plan to do DLC to support the game. We're going to do DLC, paid DLC. We're also going to do free updates. We're going to add in, there's things that we want in the game that we didn't get to ship in the final game. So we'll add like private matches and things like that for free. There will be some paid DLC. We're going to do a season pass just because it's, if you buy it up front, you get a deal. It's not, we're not doing microtransactions. Yeah. So, a season pass is just buy it up front and you get a better price.
How
seems to be good.
You were obviously part of the team that created Call of Duty, which ended up being sort of the seminal first-person shooter of the last generation. How important do you think it is for Titanfall that there is this sort of community drive behind it, that there are certain people who are championing it for like the long-term success of it?
I think that's the longevity of the game is all about the fans and how how well people take to it and how long they can play it. So I think that's absolutely critical that we get that fan base behind us.
And you've been involved in obviously big games where people get passionate about it either way. Are you used to the sort of the backlash that comes from it? Because there was, like, I guess Titanfall came out when the beta was dropped. It was sort of like a dead zone in the game's price as well. And then suddenly it was like Titanfall overload in a way, and there was a sort of a weird back reaction from a certain part of the community about that. Are you sort of used to that sort of stuff, or does that play into the way you guys market this game or talk about the game when you see the sort of the battling between either console fanboys or series fanboys?
I didn't see a lot of the battling.
Do you just stay away from it? Is that?
I like to think I'm not ignoring it. I mean, we see, we watch a lot of the responses. We pay attention to the community. So, we like to pay attention to that as kind of a flavor. I mean, we have to design the game based on what we think is going to be fun, what we think is going to be right.
Mr. John 07 asks, how many maps will be available at launch? You guys talking about that sort of stuff yet?
Well, we haven't talked about it, but I think you have, so you can give
I believe 15 is the number that I heard flying around on the internet, and the internet never lies.
Never.
So do you think that a lot of that stuff on that post then is accurate, from the machine gun turrets to the chain link, the rails and whatnot?
I'll have to go look at it, I honestly.
Okay, all right, no worries. I gotta ask.
I'd like to ask about the Xbox 360 version. There's not been a whole lot talked about when it comes to that. I know it's being made by Bluepoint.
That's right.
Who have done a lot of really good HD conversions of some last-gen games. I'm just curious, are all the features that people are going to be playing on the Xbox One and PC also going to be present in that version?
That's the goal. I mean, the game's obviously not done yet. They're, they're doing a port of our game, so they have to. As we come in hot, we just started our day one patch, so they now have to take that and integrate it into their game, and so they're naturally lagged behind us. So the goal is to get it as close as possible. It obviously won't be exact. It's on a less powerful system.
But a lot of people own that system, though. I mean,
absolutely.
I haven't even upgraded to the next gen, current gen consoles at this point. So that's actually what I'm eyeing. I play on PC a lot, but for competitive first-person shooters, I like live. And I play on a 360. So, I mean, can players expect the same longevity of support in terms of upgrades and patches?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think that's, we'll have to sit down with EA and talk about that. I mean, my assumption is yes, but I don't know that I'm the best person to speak for that, unfortunately.
Okay.
You guys have a lot of interesting relationships. You're a new studio. Obviously, there's a lot of talent from yourself to a lot of the folks that I talked to a couple of weeks ago that have worked on loads of different projects across a breadth of different genres and platforms. But you're still stuck in this interesting position where you're partnering with EA from a publishing perspective, and then also probably the most interesting relationship is that with Microsoft. Did you always feel like you were going to create a game that was going to be for one specific console, or was that a sort of a business decision that comes from just the realities of being a small team and trying to create a game of this type of scale?
Yeah, I mean, when we started the company, that wasn't the goal. I mean, we hadn't even been versed on the next-gen console stuff yet, So, as we started getting into development, we got, told about the console. We talked to Microsoft first, just to, because of our relationship with Microsoft. Looking at what we wanted to make and what Microsoft was delivering, and being able to work with them to kind of fashion what that was, was appealing to us, and we thought it made for the best game possible.
Was it always the plan to have like a bundle to be that fundamental to the early support of their new console?
No, the bundle stuff came much later, pretty recently. Yeah.
Is that exciting?
It is.
Or is it like terrifying in one way to be that important to the early days of a new console like that?
It's exciting. Yeah.
What'll you be playing it on?
I play a lot on PC. I also play on Xbox One. So I go back and forth between the two. I mean, some of it just because I have to, some of it because I enjoy both.
Yeah. Xbox 360 version a little bit?
Again, we've been focusing on the games that we're developing. So now I think once we get this one out the door, we'll have that couple weeks to turn our eyes over to the 360 version.
We have so many questions coming in. I'm not surprised at all. I'm going to pick a couple more. So Intex on Twitter asks, what's the rationale behind the burn card system? Do you feel like does it overpower players in a certain way, or is it a way of teaching them new ways of playing the game?
It's more like power-ups. So you want to have this system where things unlock over time, and we do have that as you're playing. But now we can give you these things that they might overpower you, but for a very short amount of time. It's one life. As you die, that's gone. So it's a good way to get things that you couldn't normally unlock over playing the game, because it unbalances it and lets you kind of give that to players and expose them to new things. It's a good, fun power-up system.
Another question from Thabit Nusal asks, was the idea of man against machine warfare fundamental at the beginning, or was that something that came later?
It was pretty fundamental at the beginning. That how important it was kind of varied from time to time, but it was really about that, the size discrepancy, that man and machine, cat and mouse kind of gameplay, and that was really kind of core to what we set out to do.
Yeah, when we were talking to the guys from Respawn down in LA as well, they brought up a load of interesting sort of shining back to games like Unreal Tournament and Quake, that sort of fast and frenetic type of multiplayer. Were those games that you played at all back? Like, what type of first-person shooters did you play that kind of inferred the way you design games?
I definitely played all the, Quake 3 was, a game that I played for a long time. Counter-Strikes, Unreal, even back to the Doom.
Peter, you got any more questions for the man? I'm gonna pull one out of here from the chat.
I am so curious about the Blue Point production, only because I'm a big fan of theirs, but I know that's not.
You should have them on.
Yeah, I would love to. Where are they based out of, actually?
Austin.
Austin? Okay.
All down there. A1 Trans Design asks, how interactive will the creatures be in Titanfall? This is another leak that came via Mother Internet. Have you got anything to say about the creatures we see flying around, or is there any interactivity there at all?
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say whatsoever.
DLC? Yeah.
Who knows? If you had a Titan for a day in real life, what would you do with it? Asks Tiger's Eye 85.
I would step on the guy that leaked all our.
Or supposedly leaked.
Were you guys involved in that commercial that was put out by Microsoft heavily? The one with the dudes walking down the street with a big Titan, blowing up stuff. What was that like, putting together something like how do you even pull yourself away from from creating a game to be involved in that sort of?
There's an ad agency that does it, so they show us the ideas and we comment on it.
Rubber stamped.
Hopefully we work together harmoniously, in theory.
James Okugera asks a question a lot of people have been asking: will Titanfall remain an exclusive throughout its franchise, and do you think this is the first step in a franchise that you want to continue making?
I don't think we can say that we want it to be a franchise until it's successful first. If the first game comes out and flops, then I can say it all I want and it means nothing.
Is it the type of project that you want to keep developing?
I could see that there's definitely things that we would like to continue on. So I could see a sequel working, absolutely.
What's it like? This is the first game you've released, I guess. It's been 4 years since you founded Respawn. You've been developing this game for probably closer to 2.5 or 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's about right. A little over 2 years, 2.5.
What does it feel like?
Good development time.
Considering the torrid time you would have had with all that happened in the previous game with Activision and whatnot, what's it like to actually have the narrative of you as a designer just be about a game again? Like, have you been looking forward to next week for a couple of years?
Yes and no. I mean, there's definitely times coming to it now where we are and being so close to it, it feels really good. It feels like it has been too long.
And how are you looking forward to next week? How do you feel about reviews when they start coming out? When will you be? Apparently, you don't go on the internet very often. So on review embargo day, will you be hitting the button, or does the people who play the game, are they more important than the reviews?
The people are definitely important. The reviews, are also, they kind of set the tone for what people think of the game. So you kind of have to look at both. I like to say I won't be crushed if it gets bad reviews as long as people like it, but I might be.
You've got a good reputation to uphold at this stage.
Thank you.
Are you guys nervous at all about the first time that servers go down and people won't be able to play? I'm sure that's the last thing you want to happen.
But stuff that's out of your control, I guess.
Yeah, but then does the burden fall on EA or on Microsoft? I mean, I'm sure Microsoft at that point, but I mean, how do you prepare for something like that, considering what this game is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it falls on Microsoft. It also falls on us because, at the end of the day, it's our game. It's not just Microsoft's problem. It is ours. So, we take it very seriously. And, while we hope that doesn't happen, I like how you say it's a foregone conclusion when it happens.
I mean, unfortunately, things like that do happen.
I think, it'll depend on how we respond. And I think we need to respond quickly and communicate to people what's happening and let them know why and let them know when things will be fixed, and hopefully, we're all in it together.
Just drop a Titan at their door so they can use it in real life.
There you go.
Perfect. Vince Zampella, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us about Titanfall, one of the biggest games coming out this year and possibly the biggest game, the biggest next-gen game that people have been looking forward to as well.
No
best
pressure.
of luck next week. Yeah, just saying, just don't screw it up. That's all I'm saying. If you can, you can just zip up that hood the whole way. No one will know what the hell is going on. Thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. We're going to have a look at another trailer right now, folks, for a new version of Street Fighter 4. Can you imagine that? It's
excellent.
There's already another Street Fighter 4 coming out because they haven't released enough Street Fighter 4 yet. So let's go check that out.
Peggy 12.
Damage. Trays. Fireballs. It's a guy!
Street Fighter 4, for all you folks who've never played Street Fighter 4, there's a new Street Fighter 4 coming out. Peter Brown!
Yes!
Did you know there are new video games coming out?
What?
Almost every week a new video game comes out. I know, it blows Chris Waters' mind every single week on this show, but thankfully we have someone dedicated to telling us all about the new games. Her name is Mary Kish. Mary, what's going on?
Hey!
Oh man, we got a bunch of Cartman on Tuesday.
We do. We have a lot of good stuff this week. We got some creepy stuff, actually. We have some exciting stuff. Most importantly, we have South Park Stick of Truth. Does that sparkle with you guys?
I love that game. It's the best.
Oh, cool.
Lemmy Winks.
Lemmy Winks is a sweet one. Well, let's get into some games. Let's talk about South Park Stick of Truth. It's out today. Today.
Oh,
you can go out and get it. I don't even know why we're still here. Oh, right, because we're playing it on the show today.
We are.
So I'll stick around. And you're playing as like the new guy. You got all your favorite characters are coming on. So there's more than enough substance.
That was Jesus.
You're gonna have to want to play it. And there's even stuff that they had to cut out in other countries because it was just too offensive.
Too hot for Europe.
That's right. I wonder if you can you play as the Jew in other countries?
I bet you can't in Germany.
It came out today. Also, today, this came out, The Walking Dead.
Spoilers.
Season 2, Episode 2. Clementine let in this stranger. She doesn't know anything about stranger danger.
Does he give her candy?
You have to play it to find out. I don't want to give any spoilers away. I think candy's involved. I know some zombies and hammers.
Oh, she's gonna stab that dude.
And then this one's a little weird. This is originally an iOS game, and now it's on PC. It's actually done pretty well. It's called Year Walk. It's kind of like this creepy game where you're kind of like learning. It's kind of like a adventure-style game where there's puzzles, and you play all these like super creepy characters. There's some kind of horse monster that comes after you. It looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
so I would consider it. Look at this doll, a wooden doll.
That's freaky.
Cannot unsee.
That game's pretty good. That's it's like when Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery came out on PC. If you like that sort of stuff.
Limbo, but like with timber involved. It's like a creepy. Anyway, and then also you got Dead Nation. This is coming out. It's Apocalypse Edition. Now it's $15 on PlayStation, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, it's free.
Free games.
100% free.
Free games are the best.
My favorite game genre is free. So,
is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that one.
Free to play or
all I gotta do
free?
is download it.
Free.
Oh, just free.
Just
I don't
free.
like to like pigeonhole myself into to play.
Did you get any emails from your internet service provider about that, Mary?
I don't know what you're talking about,
No?
Danny.
No?
I don't know what that means.
All right, we'll find
No,
out more
everything's
about
built in here. But you know, it's amazing that you actually can't play certain things in South Park in other countries. And isn't that weird? Like
Are you taking a shot at
took
Europe?
Took out a few things. You gotta stay in the good old offensive language loving, violence accepting country
That's why I came
of
here.
America.
That's
Welcome, Danny.
That's why I came here. It's because of all the freedom. It's just pouring out of my veins, the freedom. I don't know why that's happened in Europe. I get it why in Australia. They ban stuff all the time. Manhunt 2. Europe's usually pretty alright with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right?
I don't know what's going on. Germany, not. Do you know they actually released Return to Castle Wolfenstein in Germany?
Really?
Yeah, but instead of it being about, you know, Nazis, it's about like genetic
Yeah,
experimentation.
yeah.
They took out all the, like I'm talking about the one that,
yes,
the like actual
Right.
Quake 3 engine one, not the old one.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Video games. I want to remind people at home that they can win a copy of South Park and the Stick of Truth on the platform of their choice. 2 individuals have already acquired the prizes. I'm going to name them right now. The first one, Hawk Rod.
Yeah.
At Hawk Rod.
Yeah, like a hawk's rod.
Yeah. Like a hawk's gentleman's penis. I get it.
Oh, well.
If you like that one, you're going to love this one. Winner number 2 is at Amish War Machine.
It's like made from straw.
I think, exactly, yeah. I think whoever is picking these in our social team is doing it entirely based on the ridiculous names that we have to read out here. I like it. That's why I never won any prizes, because I'm just at Danny O'Dwyer.
You're so boring.
It's so dumb. Did you know also, apart from new games coming out, also there's new shows on thegamespot.com.
I did know that.
Suite of them.
In fact, I knew that. Yeah.
There's one new one every friggin' day, Monday through Sunday, including that really crappy day. You know the one? Yeah, there's even a show on that day as well. Let's check out what was on our original program on GameSpot.com this week.
Thief? Hardly. More like willful brain damage, man.
If you want to find something awesome for the special gamer in your life, I've got 5 suggestions.
Hello, you're playing The Waiting Game, the show that recommends 5 things for you to check out before the latest gaming hits land.
I've already parked my plane down there. Are you going to deposit your helicopter? Yeah. Wow, it's amazing.
Apparently a lot of you guys are thinking about buying an Xbox One, so I'm here to tell you what to do with your hard-earned cash.
What a cluster. Why couldn't the devs actually make it good?
If you do fancy a true stealth experience, though, why not try sneaking out of work early? It's super fun.
Extra funny because Johnny doesn't technically work for us anymore. The gist on Monday, 5 good gifts for gamers. The Waiting Game is on today. It's already up there. Prepare for the order. The Point is on tomorrow. I didn't finish the script by the time this went up, so that may or may not be accurate. GTA Diaries is about Grand Theft Auto. Feedy Bees is Johnny being a legend as ever. Skyrim mods will feature Skyrim mods on Saturday. And Reality Check with everyone's favorite sexy Scottishman, Cam Robinson. Why do we like hard as nails games? I don't know, Cam, the same reason you like hard as nails muscles. Peter Brown.
Those muscles, man.
How you doing, my yeah, not these ones. No, siree, no. You see that? That's why I wear this. That's why I wear this. All I wear is plaid as well.
This neutral,
every week,
shadow obscuring pattern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't look as awfully unfit as I do in real life. I'm just gonna wear a different plaid shirt every single week. 1 week, I'm going to change pants every single time we do a cutout and see if people notice.
Good luck.
It's going to happen. Keep watching, folks. I want to talk to you. We're going to have Justin Haywald on with news pretty soon, but I want to talk to you about whatever content you're making on GameSpot right now.
Oh, I'm making lots of content.
I know. I believe there's a Metal Gear Solid stuff going through the pipeline. I've seen my emails.
There's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. So the embargo is lifting pretty soon for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. The prologue to The Phantom Pain, which is coming out, who knows when, 2015 maybe. And I got a chance to play the entire game about 2 weeks ago. And I've got a few features going up. Today, me and Martin Gaston wrote a story about everything you need to know about the main character, Big Boss, or Naked Snake.
Yes.
Which is a great name.
Great name.
Leading up to the events in Ground Zeroes. Apart from that, I've got a feature titled Ground Zeroes Rumor versus Reality, because being a Kojima game, most people have no clue what the hell is going on. And I'm going to address some of those concepts that people are throwing around that may or may not be true. But I can't talk about any of that until tomorrow.
Okay, we will talk about Kojima very soon, though. We're going to have Justin Haywald on in just a moment. But before that, you may have noticed on last week's show, we asked Tim Schafer a random question. It appears we have about 1 million more of these. So let's see what's up this week on Random Questions with Tim Schafer.
If someone could only play one of the games I worked on, should I suggest one that would make me the most money? Or probably would be, maybe we'd go for Connect Party, because anyone can experience that and enjoy that, even your grandparents. So if I was talking to your grandparents, I would say Connect Party for sure. But the odds of them having a Connect are pretty low. Knowing your grandparents. I don't know your grandparents, sorry. Yeah, burn.
It's Tim Schafer there, taking the piss out of my grandparents. Thanks very much, Tim. Really appreciate that. It's okay, actually, because most of them are dead, so they don't know, so it's fine. Justin Haywald.
How's it going?
How are your grandparents doing, bro?
They're also dead.
Yeah! See you at next week's meeting. How are yours doing?
Dead.
Yes, this is amazing. I love it. This is actually how we all met and worked for GameSpot.com.
Yep. Over our
the Dead Grandparents Association of America.
But the reason that I came is I heard you guys talking about Kojima, and I was summoned by it because it's also a part of the news.
Yes.
So Kojima is he's making headlines. We're probably gonna have some more quotes, some more interesting stuff tomorrow.
Yes.
But he had some quotes for today, and that was that AAA games are kind of on the going down. People don't care about AAA games as much. I brought a quote. So what he said is specifically is, we've seen a phenomena around the world. Young people are losing interest in high-end games and focusing on mobile and social titles, especially in Japan. And, you know, that's kind of funny coming from a guy who's making a huge AAA game. But it's also something that we heard from Sony and that we've kind of seen from Microsoft on the reason that they've delayed the PlayStation 4 coming to Japan. Like, it's only launched this week. And even though it's done really well, the reason that they delayed it is because they're seeing a trend that AAA games just aren't as big as they used to be compared to mobile games where, the Vita and 3DS still do so well. Xbox 360 is getting outsold by the Wii U over there.
And Kojima addressed part of that as well, right? And part of the sentiment in that quote that continued was, Ground Zeroes is a high-end Japanese game that's going to do the launch for the PlayStation 4 really well, right? Like, there's no Xbox One yet, but for the PlayStation 4, he's banking that that's going to sort of shift that trend.
And he wants to show, like, Japanese developers can still make really good high-end games, and in order to get this out as quickly as possible, because Ground Zeroes is the one that's coming up, Phantom Pain is the next one, is going to be like 200 times larger, according to him.
We'll see.
To be able to get something out in time for current gen, they had to release this game now, and the one that's coming to next gen, the Phantom Pain. God, I get so confused with those. The Phantom Pain is going to be much, much larger. But they wanted to prove Japanese developers are still making good AAA games, and we're going to bring one out right now, or not right now, but when Ground Zeroes comes out.
All right, devil's advocate on this. Portable games have always been popular in Japan. Game Boy, the whole way up till modern era, they've always sold truckloads. Whenever a new color comes out of one of those machines, there's like lines around the block.
Yeah, I buy like 3 of each.
But there has been a downturn in like the amount and quality of AAA games coming in specifically out of Japanese developers. Do you think that that's maybe plays more into what he's talking about here, rather than it being a global trend?
Well, I mean, mobile is so big in Japan, partially because they've embraced that technology, before we have in the West. Mobile data, in specific, has been way faster. Like, we've only recently caught up in the past few years.
And they had great phones way before we did. Like,
precisely.
They were always ahead of the curve in terms of mobile technology.
Yeah, and I I haven't lived in Japan. You have. I've been there a few times, and from what I understand, people have pretty small apartments, and they spend a lot of time commuting. So it makes perfect sense that that's a market that is just waiting for games. And if developers deliver that and more people buy it, that's just going to justify further development.
And Sony, they do make really good AAA, really big and fun AAA games. The PlayStation 4 is not a small console by any stretch of the imagination. That's a pretty big box to have in your home. But Sony does keep putting out these good big AAA games, and I don't think that it's slowing down as much. Like, I think there's still that market for it, but America has just become bigger. The outside world has become bigger. Instead of Japan becoming smaller. I think we just give more attention to these European and American developers who are making really, really good games. It's not just condensed only to Japan, like it was when we were kids, when there was the Super Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah. All right, that's enough about Kojima. One more little piece of news as well. A new trailer dropped this morning for Batman Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. I mean, we saw a teaser for this a little bit earlier. It dropped on one of the stores on a European site. And then Warner Brothers just went ahead and confirmed it. Arkham Knight is going to be the next Batman game. A 4-minute trailer, but it is totally worth watching. Like, it is on par with some of my favorite trailers, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And it shows, Batman driving through the streets of Gotham City in the Batmobile.
And the lake. He drives
out of the lake.
Out of the lake.
It rises
He's birthed from the water.
We're gonna have a look at it in just a minute, actually. But before that, has there been any other details about this game? Is it going to be more open world? Is this is a next gen title?
Well, we know it's a next gen. We know it's next gen. We've seen the box art, and you have to assume that it's going to be pretty big. It's going to be at least something like open world, because you have a car and you're driving around. I assume you're not going to just jump in and just go through a mini game going from point A to point B. Like, you're going to have some world to drive in. It might be, I would guess, at least on par with Grand Theft Auto 4 and its version of New York City.
Yeah.
Because Gotham City is kind of like New York.
Did you already mention this is done by Rocksteady?
Exactly, and it's also done by the original developers of the Batman that we really loved. There was that kind of hiccup last year with Arkham Origins, and we're back to the original guys with Rocksteady.
I think a lot of people are going to care about that.
Yeah, it's exciting. So yes, without further ado, Justin, thank you very much for coming on.
No,
thank you. All about the news. Let's check out that trailer. I just want to say it as well, if folks who are watching this on Twitch, you may have some slight little advertising breaks as we're showing these trailers. Everyone on GameSpot is getting the full trailer treatment. So without further ado, this is Rocksteady's Batman Arkham Knight.
Peggy 16.
Gotham, this is your only warning. Abandon the city, or I will unleash your greatest fears.
The last will and testament of the deceased, Thomas Wayne. In the event of my death, I hereby declare that all my worldly possessions pass to my son, Bruce Wayne. Bruce, I ask that you honor the Wayne family legacy and commit yourself to the improvement of Gotham City, its institutions, and its citizens. Please, be strong. You are young, but destined for great things. Make the most of your opportunities. Use them to give back to a city that has given us so much, to change the lives of millions of people. Do not be frivolous with this wealth. Please do not waste it all on fast cars and outrageous clothes and the pursuit of a destructive lifestyle. Invest in Gotham. Treat its people like family. Watch over them and use this money to safeguard them from forces beyond their control. My deepest regret is I will not see you grow into the good man I know you will become. And finally, my son, I ask that you never abandon this city to fate. We have lived through dark days, and no doubt there are more to come. But it is the good and great men who stand up for Gotham when others turn and run. In death, I will love you forever. Your father, Thomas.
That trailer looks pretty rad. No. Arkham. You guys fan of those Arkham video games?
Oh.
Rob Handerley, did you play the Arkham video games?
You know what, Danny? I actually did not.
Did you not?
And that's not a great opener.
Big fan.
But no, I missed those, unfortunately.
Rob Handerley,
but that trailer was great.
It was.
Yeah.
You didn't cut that, but you did cut the video review for South Park and the Stick
I
of
did.
Truth.
I really did.
Was
Danny.
it fun?
It was a blast.
Was it?
It was hard to get through. Yeah, I've definitely reviewed over 9 hours of it and was just laughing the whole time. I was here in the office till about 10 p.m. working on that thing, just having the time of my life.
Could you say that down the lens to your boss so that you can make sure you get paid more?
Overtime.
South Park and the Stick of Truth. We're giving away copies live here on the show. I just want to remind folks that we are done giving away copies. Robot Biscuit and Jetly333 are the winners of our final 2 copies. Woo! Thank you very much to everyone. Remember to follow us on @GameSpot on Twitter if you want to win prizes every week on the lobby. Peter Brown.
Hello.
This is South Park and the Stick of Truth, or am I
Yes.
actually watching an episode of the show? Because I can't tell the difference.
I'll never tell.
What's going on with this video game?
I'm in a fight.
Okay.
So this is an RPG from Obsidian, and it is very much like an interactive South Park episode. You can't really tell right now, but when I'm running around the world, it really does feel genuine.
So this is you're in a battle here. This is very much a turn-based role-playing game fair going on here.
Yeah, turn-based battle. You know, so these kids have their made-up world, and I'm fighting the elves, as it were. But essentially, I mean, for me, I'm so interested in the world of this game, just exploring South Park, because everything is here. There's Shitty Walk, there's Shitty Sushi, I'm sorry, City Walk.
Shitty Walk? Shitty Sushi?
Yeah, City Sushi
And that's
is here.
that's probably one of the coolest things is how this game literally takes off from like the last episode, last season, and continues. So if you if you remember from the episode City Sushi,
Shitty Sushi.
It's burned down. In the end of the episode, it got smashed to oblivion.
Yeah.
And they have that there, and you walk by. I mean, it takes off exactly where the season was.
I saw the Asses of Fire 2 trailer as well, or outside the cinema up on the billboard. Is there lots of in-jokey South Park nonsense going on here? Mr. Brown.
Oh yeah, no,
reading
dude,
text.
yeah, there's so much. I'm sorry, I'm knee deep in Tweak.
In RPG.
Right now.
What class are you?
I'm the fighter.
Okay.
So you have the fighter, there's a magician, I believe maybe a mage and something else, and then the Jew.
The Jew.
Which is actually a pretty fun class to play. I was playing a different save file with that character. Yeah, I don't know. So
I love how that dude's on his phone and his wife is just looking at him like, you pieces. Are you gonna hit people in here as well?
So yeah, you have a bunch of different projectiles you can use throughout this game and hit people.
Oh!
You can, you run into characters like Cartman's mom is just sitting on the couch. You can go up and hit her if you want.
Obviously.
But there's so many things that are interactive here that sort of play into the whole notion that you're participating. Oh wait, are those Shin Pokemon back there?
Oh my God, Shin Pokemon, I love them. Is that Shu? Please be Shu.
Oh, I can't get it. Oh God.
Got to buy them. Got to get them.
Pokemon.
Lambdor is my favorite. If you have any questions at all for Peter about South Park and the Stick of Truth, please, by all means, at GameSpot on Twitter, in the Twitch chat, or on the comments, and I'll make sure I pass them on. Is that Facebook?
Yeah, so the whole menu system is has this social network structure where everyone you meet actually becomes your friend.
Okay.
And you get updates from them throughout the game.
Net worth, $16.55. Do you buy items in this game very much?
Well, you can. This game is not very difficult.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward and simple, as long as you don't screw around too much. Like, if you're used to playing really challenging, hardcore RPGs, this is not going to tax you at all. You'll have a really easy time getting through it.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. I mean, there's I mean, I wish I could hear what she was saying a little bit better, but okay, wait. So here comes a battle. These kids are just strewn about town.
First shot.
Yeah. It's got a mechanic that's very similar to the Super Mario RPG series.
Okay.
I'll show you right now. So if I just go to attack, my character is going to flash, and I'll note that his name is Douchebag.
Okay.
I don't want to
yourself. Yes, confirmed.
You have the option to name your character, and whether I named him that or not, I will leave up to the users.
Okay.
Although they can probably guess.
So Peter Brown named his character Douchebag, just so everyone's clear.
You earn titles throughout the game, though, so that does change.
How linear is this? Is it? Do you have to take the story missions in a very particular order, or is there much side quest stuff going on here?
It's fairly linear. Like right now, I'm at a point where I have to meet to get Tweak and Token, I think, and I can choose to pick up either one of them. But actually, I was able to move about and pick up a random side quest that didn't have me going around the world very much. But yeah, you don't have to do like step A, step B, step C. And I love that because you can just drop the ball and hit him with a bat.
I like it. There's a question here from Moomin. How much of the game has been banned in Europe? Rob, are you putting together some sort of you went through a lot of the footage of this game,
yes.
saw a lot of that sort of stuff.
There were, I believe, 2 moments that were banned. One was a abortion minigame.
Oh man.
Shoot.
That'll do it.
Unfortunately, I really wanted to get my hands on that one. And then I think the anal probing scene.
Why?
For moments.
Why? That one?
Yes.
The trailer.
Yes.
Why?
And then I think in Germany they, in Germany they have like an anti
swastika,
swastika, and historical. They try to like pull back on all that.
Big time.
Unfortunate stuff that happened.
They
basically,
World War II.
Yeah, they basically like wiped out all the swastikas and all that stuff.
Did they replace it with anything, I wonder?
I don't know if they were. Actually, I haven't seen. Yeah, kittens.
Rival TV asks, what type of abilities do the Jew have, Mr. Brown?
He's got a mix of physical attacks and magical abilities. There's one in particular.
Did I see him use a dreidel and it was just listed in the inventory as Jew thing?
Probably, yeah.
There's this Sling of David.
Yeah. Well, there's one move called the Circumscythe.
Yes, which is a good one.
Great.
It's a little bloody.
Can you play as a female character?
No.
Is it possible? Really?
No, I don't believe so.
You just make a little dude.
I could be wrong about that, but I chose the male.
They leave it pretty open-ended for the most part. Like you just either called douchebag or Commander douchebag.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice anything as far as that as well, gender role.
Can you when you start, are you the silent protagonist thing going on where you never talk and then everyone else fills in lines for you?
Yeah, yeah. You have these not gender neutral parents.
Yeah, great. Hey man, it's the 21st century, bro.
Yep. No, your parents are of sort of like nondescript origin. I think that they fit any race essentially.
Are the loading things just random?
Loading times?
I saw the goth kid there. No, they're like loading animations.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay, so up here, I think I need to distract these guys by hitting them. Oh, they're out of range. I really want to find a toilet. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
hey, Bar Brady.
It's funny how they replaced that Bar Brady with that redheaded cop in the series. They kind of got over him.
Ooh. Wait, how many phones does she have?
I know.
She just pulled out another phone.
Yeah.
Man, people at South Park.
They are plugged in.
Oh, and fast travel is Timmy with a wagon strapped to his chair. Just freaking awesome.
And it has this great it has this great horse sound effect, and he comes in off screen with like a stuffed horse just sort of like taped to his carriage.
Is Jimmy in it?
There's David.
Yeah.
David looking good.
Wait, I never knew she worked anywhere. Why did she work with David Hasselhoff's fan club or something?
You know what's funny?
It's Dave's rhinoplasty, of course.
That was like never touched on. I think maybe there was like an early episode where they showed Stan's mom working at the rhinoplasty, but
Horror makeup. Yeah, so you can change your appearance throughout the game with these little add-ons. They do nothing for your stats.
Yeah.
Let me see which ones I have right now, actually.
Nothing whatsoever. Is there any like buffs or?
Oh, I thought I had balls on chin.
Double. Can you do balls on chin? Oh, chin balls. Chin ball boy.
I don't have them. I don't have them.
Is Lemmy Winks in this video game? I'm just gonna name characters and ask if they're in this video game.
No, I definitely know that there is a moment where you go up Mr. Slave's
anus.
Second hole.
Hey man, sometimes it's the first hole.
Oh God.
Oh, I can't afford knee rhinoplasty.
Oh man.
Not
I
yet.
don't even have a
First
nose.
world problems. Yeah, it's true actually. No, he has
I
nose.
like that photo on the back left. He's just having a good
He's having
time.
the base. David Hasselhoff, of course he is. How big is the world? How big is South Park?
Oh, let me show you.
Let us look, Danny.
Come on, menu. The menu takes a little bit of time to come up.
You're playing this on the Xbox 360?
The 360.
This is out on PC and PlayStation 3 as well, is that right?
Yeah. So you're looking at the entirety of the map here.
Okay.
You know, not too small, not too big either.
Stark's Pond.
Do you do a lot of like farming dudes in this game for abilities? Do you level up in that manner, or is it more of the items you have?
Yeah, no, you totally level up. Does that answer your question?
Are you gonna hit this girl?
Of course.
You're such a jerk.
That bird.
Is there any benefits to that whatsoever?
Well, sometimes you can knock items out of trees and pick those up. So one thing that's cool. Oh, I don't know the key to the house.
Oh, can you show the force? Have you done the force yet?
No, I don't have that.
The force being the you fart in your hand and then throw it at someone.
Oh
thing.
no, I definitely don't have
so
that.
right.
All these houses are locked. Shit.
What's in there? Betty Donovan.
In loving memory of Betsy
Donovan. I don't even know what that is. Oh, you're just the worst.
All these houses, man. So
if you're the thief, can you break into those?
That's a good question. I mean, so
it is. Thanks.
A lot of houses are just unlocked by default, and you can go into like every room in the house, which is pretty cool. Sometimes you see things that you really wish you hadn't seen.
Oh, here we go. Is that Timmy's house? I saw a sign for Timmy outside. Oh, please let it be Timmy's house.
Oh no, that's like the station where Timmy comes and picks you up.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we need to do that next then.
So where are we here? Nondescript character.
Oh no, this is that kid who has the. He's obsessed with Star Trek.
Oh, he's the Spock kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're not playing Star Trek.
While I would prefer to explore strange worlds with you, it is illogical to abandon the bridge until the captain returns.
Is most of the exchanges in this just random?
The captain is my Bob.
Like talking, is there any benefit to it? Do you unlock side quests this way at all? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are a couple side quests. Like, so for example, I ran into an alleyway the other day, and there were a couple kids picking on a girl.
Okay.
And I basically beat them. And I think she gave me like a little bit of a reward.
All right.
But you know, it's really just about interacting with everything. Like the gameplay here is so simple and straightforward. I don't want to say it feels tacked on because it's the game, right? It's not just like you're exploring South Park. But that really is the best part of it, is just going around talking to people, hearing things that you would expect or perhaps not expect them to say.
I'm waiting to see, like, you walk in the room
Oh,
and
here we
someone's
go.
on the top.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Oh, this is awesome.
You gonna take...
Oh, shit.
South Park,
Hold on,
everyone.
hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
shit,
I
yeah,
did it again.
nicely said. Can you
Thank
go for
you.
another one?
Yeah.
What happened? You didn't squeeze it out?
You have to tap so fast.
Well, come on, man. Everyone pooped.
Got
Oh, that's awful.
I feel a lot
Great.
better.
You feel
a lot better.
Feel lighter?
Yeah.
Did you get a little stamina buff there?
You pick up everything in this game, like crumbled paper.
Just stealing these
Wait, don't
people's
you
houses?
pick the poo out of the toilet?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Touche. No?
Oh,
yeah.
It's a shit nugget.
There it is. Pocket it.
Now it's my shit nugget. I'm gonna take a shower.
Can you eat it for a buff? This game
While
is
I'm showering?
I think you can use it to throw at someone. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I can just equip it? Oh.
Can we find Al Gore and throw it at him? I want to throw poo in Al Gore's face.
Oh, what's with cereal?
How's this for an inconvenient truth?
Inconvenient poop?
Inconvenient poop.
Come on, cursor. There we go.
Can you do it?
No, you can't equip it there.
Oh. You can't stick it on the end of your arrow, a la thief.
Maybe it's just to look at and just,
enjoy.
Reminisce
Just to
your
hold
toilet
and to have.
experiences.
To have and to hold.
Peter can't even
Dude,
get
am I
it.
stuck in the bathroom?
Stuck in the bathroom. Man.
There's
There
a
you go.
drought going on.
All right, I want you to have a look at. I want to see Timmy, and then let's call it a day. I want to see Mr.
I won't
Timmy.
be able to call him, so I can call him, but he really only appears that first time.
Oh man.
Do you want to see what he's up to on the social net?
Yes,
All
I
right.
do.
Pull out the phone. What's also great is you'll see like chat or like replies on its own, like someone will reply to like Kenny who says like I'm a princess or something like that, and I'll be like,
oh, just
Kenny,
random chatter.
Yeah,
between
it's
them
just
all?
random stuff you'll catch that they like continue throughout the game.
Oh,
all right, don't worry about it.
it's not happening. Sorry,
no worries.
man.
Go outside and hit.
Failure.
I want you to hit somebody out here. We're gonna.
Where's somebody? Where's somebody? Where's somebody?
Charcoal. All right, don't worry about it.
Forget it.
For more on South Park and the Stick of the Truth, make sure to go to GameSpot.com. Our review is up on the site. In fact, I believe we're going to play it right after the credits. Peter Brown, thank you very much for playing South Park, for hanging around with me today, and for spit roasting Mr. Zampella with me.
Are you getting rid of me?
Really appreciate it.
Do
We're
I have to
done.
do I have to leave?
It's a show. Rob Handlery.
Hey!
Thank you very much for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you in front of camera. You've been a stalwart of GameSpot for so long now, making reviews and stuff. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so
I swear to
much.
God, the footage we did on the pilot where you pretended to be the developer of Jazzpunk and I was laughing so much I was crying and we had to keep the camera off. I think we should stick that on the internet sometime.
I
It
think
was
that
internet
should happen
gold.
as well.
Or we should just make you be a fake developer every single week.
I think that would be better. Let's just do that.
That'd be
What
good,
do you got on
yeah.
your plate for the rest of the week, sir? Any more
Some
video
more
reviews?
South Park stuff. Maybe a little Titanfall and prep for next week. Definitely excited for that one.
What about yourself, Peter? Metal Gear Solid stuff?
Minesweeper. All day.
Minesweeper?
Yep.
The comeback.
Yeah.
Minesweeper 2.
I'm training for competitive Minesweeper.
First it was Peggle 2, then it was Chess 2, and now Minesweeper 2.
It's making a comeback.
For all that and more on where gamers go to know, make sure you stick on GameSpot.com. That is the lobby for this week. My episode of The Point is out tomorrow at noon Pacific. But thanks to everyone who's watched today's show. Thanks for everyone in the production booth, everyone watching live, and everyone watching the VOD version. Have yourself a wonderful week. We will see you same time next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. Adios.